our biggest issue is security. So we have a crime situation, and then we have an issue where drones are becoming used more and more often for nefarious purposes. So things like dropping contraband into the prisons, those kind of use cases. Yeah, so those are the kind of examples that we're talking about here. Welcome back to another episode of the Pilots of the Caribbean podcast, where we talk about all things drones and how they're being used in the Caribbean. Now, we have a little bit of a different episode for you guys this week. I was invited to be a guest on the Drone Life podcast, hosted by Dem Drones out of the UK. So I'm just going to be sharing that episode with you guys. We did a little bit of a half and half split where we took turns both hosting the episode. So I hope you guys enjoy. What's up, man? This is Elon here, coming in from Trinidad and Tobago, host of the
TT
Pilots of the Caribbean podcast, where we talk about drones, how they're being used in the Caribbean, and use cases that we could bring to the Caribbean as well from outside.
All right. Thank you very much for introducing yourself. You guys know who I am. Dem Drones. This is Drone Life podcast with a collaboration, with the Pilots of the Caribbean podcast. Now, obviously, I'm JA. He's TT. Twins in the same game with destruction. You know what I'm saying? We cause problems out there. That's what we are. Okay. If we don't win the Olympics, you know what I'm saying? We're tearing everybody down. We had a match recently. We had a match recently in the UK. Like your boys came out, but they needed to just a little bit more of a push. A little bit more of a push. But no, man, look, I really appreciate you coming on. It's an amazing experience. I never thought I would be communicating with a podcast owner in regards to the drone industry. I never thought this would happen. Yeah, like really? How did the idea come about that you wanted to start this for the Caribbean?
So when people ask me what I do for work, they usually, not aware that drones could do the things that we use them for. And so I decided to, start something to show people the other use cases outside of what they're accustomed to in pictures and videography and that sort of stuff. And it expanded out to, let's see what other Caribbean pilots are doing and have them on, have them talk about what they're doing. And then it expanded into, okay, what's going on outside that might be interesting to us in the Caribbean. So let's have that on as well. And that's where we are today.
Well, that's an amazing way of doing it. I think it was kind of the same for me, that as I was saying earlier, representation of a drone pilot is very nuanced and all they see is your footage. So they don't really understand the operations behind it. They don't understand the networking, business, none of that. So I said, this is the best space for me to go, you know what? People in the UK, and not a lot of people in the UK are pilots look like me. That was another forefront of that. We have to make sure that there's still a space that represents this part of the industry so that we can be represented from our own foundation and our own, standpoint, because there's nothing wrong with going into an industry and knowing that it's a little bit different, but knowing that there's not a home for you in that industry, it becomes very difficult. So the fact you've gone through the Caribbean route, which obviously I'm connected to, the babies and the roots and everything, my grandma, JA, a bit of Puerto Rican somewhere in there. Yeah, I don't know if there's any TT. So, it's one of many people, isn't it?
Yep.
So, yeah, but it was for me, I've connected with Jamaican pilots already.
Right.
We've got one guy into drone soccer. Yep. I'm
really,
yeah.
Really impressed. One is my guy.
Yeah, we had a conversation, with a long 1 to 2 hour conversation of updating. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I've done, this is what you've done. You could throw that idea over there. It was amazing. Yeah, especially just communicate with someone over there, because I want to go back home and I want to do work there. So knowing that I can immediately just hit one of the guys and say, yo, what's going on? And he's already got everything patterned. Just makes it so much easier. And the same thing over here, people coming over, as long as they find me, I've got you here and there, and I've got you covered. So it is amazing. So how long have you been doing this drone thing as a pilot? When's the first time you picked up the remote?
2016.
Okay.
I started in FPV.
All right. So 2 years before me, and you completely different aspect. So if you start in FPV, what is the world like now from when you picked it up in 2016, where it was still very much in its infancy, and then you got to see the rise and explosion of
Yep.
use cases. What's it been like in your vision?
Well, it's been a lot easier. The advancements have made it a lot easier for persons to join the industry.
Mm,
And that is a good thing and a bad thing because,
mm,
you do have the instances of persons using it in ways that they probably necessarily shouldn't.
yeah,
But the ease of access into the industry has given us so many advancements in what the technology has been used for.
yeah.
So the use cases we've seen, like recently, I came across an article where in Dominica, they're using modified FPV drones to tag whales.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was
Crazy.
incredible to see. Yeah.
That's so
So
crazy, bro.
they
Whales.
said usually what they would do is they would have to get a boat close and they use like a stick to
Yeah,
actually have to like hit the whale to get the sensor to stick onto it.
yeah, yeah.
Now what they do with the modified FPV drones is they could stay further away so the boats don't scare the whales. And then they fly the FPV drone and they kind of like touch and go. And when they touch, it's the sensor attaches to the whale and when they take off, it stays.
That is crazy to think
Yeah.
that. And you know what? I think you're right. The good and the bad. And I think the good and the bad, the fact that that is now a use case because of
Yeah.
someone that thought, let me do something that's not conventional. Yeah. Yeah. And let me try that is where we get that gray area now. And the funny thing about it is because even when I think all of us saw it. We saw the Dutch boys do the F1. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Vince. Yeah.
Yeah.
ADG. Yeah.
We saw that. And that was just reminding people that this is a amazing piece of equipment.
Yep.
Yeah. And we haven't even touched the capabilities of what it can do yet. Yes, that which is there's so many use cases I see. Like even I think the military right now, where they're trying to create swarm FPV drones. Because we've seen it in like movies and stuff like that. I think in the
Yeah.
Sonic movie we saw it where there was just a swarm and Dr. Robotnik a
Yeah.
swarm. And now they're really trying to take that into the military field because you've got radar scanning, you've got sniffer drones now as well. It's ridiculous. Like the industry just is beautifully growing. But when you
Yeah.
say the negatives, where would you see the negatives? Where have they been more apparent, in your opinion?
So in Trinidad, we have our biggest issue is security. So we have a crime situation, and then we have an issue where drones are becoming used more and more often for nefarious purposes. So
Okay.
things like dropping contraband into the prisons,
Ah,
those kind of use cases. Yeah. So those are the kind of examples that we're talking about here. So we're
yeah.
using them for reconnaissance of persons for the purposes of kidnapping and those sort of instances.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, look, technology itself is never damning. It's never a bad thing. It's the people you end up
Yeah.
connecting with. And those are the individuals. Because we've had the drops here in the CAA in the UK, they put it within their anal. Now they're updated anal where you can't drop anything from a drone unless it's for an operation based or it's been put through permissions or
Yeah.
it's a special case nowadays. Because back in the day, that's what was being done. I mean, you had these really impressive individuals because regardless of the nefarious purposes, you had these really impressive pilots go, yeah, I can do that, And yeah, obviously you shouldn't be, but they do it. They've done it.
Yep.
They've done it and they've proved it. And one thing I actually had, because the UK, our NHS has recently started doing those projects. In the US, they've done beyond visual line of sight drops now. And it's
Yeah.
interesting that you look at it and you're like, okay, that was for nefarious purposes, but now you want to do a $1 billion industry of dropping to people,
Yep.
whatnot. So it's like, I hate it because there's always a gray area where you look at that and it was like, well, that was really innovative and it was really beneficial. You couldn't go to you in regards to you as a company to do that because you would have said,
Yeah.
well, you don't fit what we want. Yeah. But now you're like, well, because we found someone who fits what we want, we'll do it. And we'll push it through for policy.
Yeah.
All
So
of
it would
these.
make sense for us to have it being done. Yeah.
This is it. This is it. So it's always for me, it's always a catch-22 situation because anything you develop outside of the preview of a large corporate company or outside of the government will be classed as either nefarious or very just out of the norm. Yeah,
Hmm.
and not much funding will go towards it. And then, obviously, when one person says, "Oh, I know the right person, I can communicate with that individual," okay, now it's legal.
Now it's legal. Yep.
You know, that I think that itself. Because remember, FPV originally, it didn't fall into the preview of overall drones. It didn't.
Yeah.
It was completely separate until we had use cases where I think what's his name, Jay Flybird flew it through inside the building and did that. Remember that bowling alley one?
Oh yeah. The
Yeah,
Cinewoop video. Yeah, yeah.
that was it. When that Cine Root video happened, that was it.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted it. Then he did not Pop Idol, the one with what's his name? Simon Cowell. Then he did that. Then he did another one, and that was it. After that, commercialized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is interesting. But from your perspective right now, we're 2025, 2026 coming. What are the new things you're looking forward to see in the drone industry?
Oh, so I would like to see a bigger push into. So I recently came across doing manned transport by drones, and it's taking place in the Caribbean actually. The Dominican Republic has a company that recently launched it. So I would like to see it's large. It can carry two persons, I believe. Yeah, 30-minute flights. So I would like to see more of the advancements into persons and cargo delivery with drones in the region. I think that we are close enough that it works to have it across borders and for it to be efficient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right, because it's an archipelago. So, yeah, I think,
Yeah.
and most of the time you're flying from island to island, you're using small carrier planes to get from A to
Yep.
B. So, yeah,
Yeah,
I
twin
mean,
trips.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
with beyond visual line of sight working, I think it would definitely work. It would have to make sure, I mean, logistically, it will probably be big antennas, really big antennas. Yeah, maybe running and pushing 5G over the whole archipelago, then that's possible.
Yeah.
That
Or you could just use satellite communications.
You could go through satellite, but the only thing with satellite is if you're gonna get
Yeah.
hit with any form of clouds, it's messed up the signal immediately. Yeah.
Or sleep. Oh yeah.
So it's
Sorry about
still got to be low band regardless.
that. Mhm.
Yeah. And if it's big enough to avoid that mass or anything like that, then yeah, you're fine. But I think, oh, that is amazing. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, do you think Trinidad will pick it up?
And that's the biggest challenge. I think one of the, if not the biggest challenge that we have is in the region is how long it takes for our authorities to adapt to the advancements in the industry.
Yeah.
So in the Caribbean, for instance, we don't have a formalized license. None of the
Yeah,
country
you're
do as
right.
far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So,
true.
we still so far behind. And like, so for instance, in Trinidad, for another example, things like drone light shows are technically not allowed. You can get waivers for them, but there are no provisions for them to happen. Things
Mm.
like agricultural spraying isn't allowed in Trinidad.
Really? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
based on our regulations. And yeah, our regulations have been around for 2016. I don't think they've changed much since.
You know what? This because the same with the JCAA. I know the JCAA Jamaica doesn't actually have their own permission-based system. You just stay away from the airports, from what I've remembered and what I've been told. But there's a lot of people taking the FAA, yeah,
Yeah.
and Canada's as well, and bringing
Mhm.
that to the Caribbean, to try and help bridge the gap. But I
So you
mean, what?
can, but it isn't officially recognized by our civil aviation. So like I have my 107, but it
Mm,
still isn't officially recognized.
okay, yeah. See,
So
that's the thing. That is the thing.
yeah, the reason that we have it, for instance, would be like the companies that we work for require our operators to be licensed. So you have to
Yeah.
get a license from somewhere. But it
Mm.
doesn't necessarily mean that it is recognized by our local governing body for drones.
Okay. All right. But
Yeah.
yeah, because that's something I did notice. That's something I did want to actually go over and start talking to aviation about.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, I mean, the way that it works over here is that the CAA covers any form of drone industry work, anything. So they put it into their wheelhouse and they said, okay, cool, you cover it. And then the Metropolitan and the different police forces here will cover ground maintenance. Because even
Right.
recently, Carnival, we had a lot of drones go up,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of drones taken down. A lot of police pulled them
Oh,
up
that could imagine.
because they've been given powers by the CAA to say, well, if you're not falling under 239 of the ANO, then you shouldn't be in the air. So even having that, but I mean, what would you think is needed to go to the aviation side and government side to start creating or standardizing some form of regulations, permissions for Trinidad?
So I don't think it's needed. Anything's needed from the outside because I've had conversation with our local authority about it,
Mm.
and they have been partnering with ICAO.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and their thing is that they have been waiting for them to make their final deliberations on whatever the rules and regulations are before they put them in place here. And my argument to that has been, why should we wait? We don't have to wait, then why are we waiting?
Yeah.
It's not that they are missing anything or they need anything else. And this is just for Trinidad specifically.
Mm.
They're just waiting on this other body to kind of, hand down the international level rules. But it's not necessarily a requirement for us. We could do different things if we want. Because I mean, Guyana has different regulations. And shout out to Brian Smith, Dragonfly Drones. I've seen many comments.
Yeah.
They could make their own changes and designations. Look, agricultural spraying is a big thing down there. They don't have regulations against that. They're not waiting on somebody else to tell them, okay, well, this is the framework that you guys can use for this. They've seen an opportunity. It benefits the economy, benefits the countries. There's a general benefit to it. So they found a way to implement it and regulate it.
But now you're talking about the body that supports it. I mean, even here, like I've taken into consideration that with a ton of, we've got OA here, Operation Authority pilots, get to that level, you need at least 5 or 6 to go to the CAA and start sitting there and say, well, we want to put this regulation in place. What needs to be done? Because even the CAA here, they're like, we don't actually generate qualifications. We don't generate your permission. We just authorize the operation base of whatever it is.
Right.
But even with your side and the aviation side, really aviation should be going, okay, well, we've got our manned rules, we need to expand it into the UAV rules now. But I guess it's who wants to take responsibility. That sounds like a responsibility thing.
Yes.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Because it's like, well, I don't want to take responsibility for that. If something goes wrong, boom.
Then it's on us.
Yeah, it's on us. But then at the end of the day, it's meant to be on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's what it is. I mean, that's your job as aviation, as an aviation authority. It's your job. And so that is disappointing to hear. But I mean, look, it's 2025 now. We've got a couple more years left. By 2030, everybody wants to be driving electric. Everyone wants to have certain things. I mean, China is at the forefront of developing drone technology, which I think is also another reason why so many people are stagnant. Because they don't want China having all of that control. But then if you're going to keep giving them money to build everything else, why would you think they're going to say, oh, you can have this bit? It makes no sense. You need to either be a rival in the space or strong enough to compete.
No, China is significant, but I must say, coming out of commercial UAV that came back from last week, the industry in the US is thriving. And so the displays there were huge. The amount of companies, there were companies that you've never heard of that have been doing significant work in the industry. So the American companies are making a push, and they're gonna keep making a push. There were some companies as well from places like Japan, Singapore, Thailand that have significant presence in the drone world itself, both inside of the US and outside. So they have to catch up, but they're catching up slowly but surely.
I mean, that might be an understatement. If we're looking at the movement right now, regardless of how, and I've said this to someone because some of my colleagues and my trainees are from India and everything. Regardless of how fast they're traveling, China is still moving forward. They're not stopping. So it's a situation where, regardless, they're gonna be the winners until something stops them. And if you've got 200 people on one drone, unfortunately, it's going to be very difficult to stop. I'm sorry. It's going to be very difficult to stop them from moving forward. Even with when they decided to play there, and remember, FPV DJI drone, the first one. Yeah. That's when they said, we are going to commercialize FPV. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, they have now gone to the point where we are at a Nero. They have done 5 variations, if I'm right. Yeah, because you've got the FPV-1, then you had the Advada, you got the Advada
Right.
2. Yeah.
Right.
Now we've got the Nero, so it's 4. But there's 4
Yeah.
variations.
Yeah.
They're not
And there's more on the
stopping.
way. Yep.
It's what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's
It's
more in
true.
a way. So it's like we're looking at it from an aspect where countries are now coming together as economic powers to try and compete with one of the biggest companies in the game, and they are technically the biggest company in the game. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be very difficult. Very, very difficult. I think it will probably be a situation where you're gonna have to have 2 countries working together to be able to catch up. Yeah. And I think that's where right now, in my opinion, I think this is where Africa actually has a very, 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 very good chance of becoming that next house. Because of if we state all the statistics, youngest body of people on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they are hungry, they are growing. The continent is the continent. Yeah. I mean, I've been looking at Kenya, we've got the Kenya guys, they're doing really well. I mean, you probably met Eno as well.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
I know.
him, Africa, the African Drone Forum
Yep.
again, it just really expanding. So I believe once that starts really improving, and we know
Mm-hmm.
our people are very innovative, like that may be the contender against China. That, in my opinion, that will probably be there. But then we're working with them anyway.
But visibility to me has been, it would currently is an issue because, okay, so I know these things because of my exposure to Eno. Prior to him, I had no idea what the drone landscape in Africa looked like.
Yeah, yeah,
So, I mean, it exists, but it needs to be out there in front of the world, bowl, here we are. Because,
yeah.
like, top of my head, I could tell you the Swiss are doing significant work in specialized use case drones. Everything
Mm.
from delivery to inspections and stuff like that. I think that they are the forefront of very special use case drones. And that's because they're out there, they get in front of you, they're always at everything, they're always advertising, they're always in your face.
They're doing the marketing. They're doing the marketing. They're doing the
Yeah.
real push. They're really working forward. That's the thing. I mean, a lot of people don't get it. That when you hit the business side of the drone industry, it is about
Yeah.
marketing, putting yourself in the right place, communicating. I mean,
Mhm.
I I was honored to be able to do my pitch at the UK Black Business Show. And
Right.
before that, I didn't see no other individual in the drone industry do that. Like I didn't. Most pilots are like, we're gonna just stay quiet. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna go home.
Mhm.
There doesn't need to be a face. There doesn't need to be a symbol here
Yeah.
that says, "Oh, this is actually the person behind the work." And I think when I was working on film with Four Deuce Films, amazing independent company, yeah, I realized that the director is the only person that will get the shine. But then, bearing in mind they have put in the work. But when I was on that area, I realized that because I'm taking over the skies, I
Mm.
need to ensure that people know that yes, he did all that and I was a part of it. But this is the
Right.
section I need to make sure I show because it's not just me. People doing
Yeah.
music videos, people doing other areas of movies. And I'm like, yes, we appreciate the director gave us all that time. Yeah. But at the end of the day, his name's going to be on the credits. And
Yeah.
I respect it is because of the script, the time, the production, the people. But and we both know, when you're out there on your own, it's you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You're the one getting that angle. You're the one creating that moment. You're the one really expanding on what can be done from that aspect. And the more knowledge you have in that space, the better the data is you get out of. Yeah, and I think that's really where it was important. So even you doing this now, making sure your face is there, going down and doing it, because I'm assuming you did some interviews down there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This one, and I went to Energy Drone Robotics earlier this year in Houston as well.
Mm.
So I think that's so you mentioned something earlier, and I think that is one of the, if not the largest issue that we have in the Caribbean. It is places that we could get formal, well, maybe not formalized, but appropriate training to advance the skill set. It
Yeah.
isn't it isn't something that is widely or readily available in the region. And I've spoken to a lot of pilots who are looking for it and would love to have it, but don't know where to look because as you know, in your region, not everybody could get to the States because you need a visa.
Yeah.
And in the instance of Trinidad now, Trinidadians now need a visa to get to the UK. So travel outside isn't easy, nor is it, affordable for a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No, it's a big
getting,
barrier.
yeah, so getting qualified and learning how to advance your skill is important for persons in your region. And that's something that needs a lot of work on.
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna get there. So we've got 5 minutes now. So as I said to everyone before, it's half an hour for me asking him questions, and then it's half an hour for him asking me questions. We're kind of taking over host for host. So if there's anyone in the comments now or anyone that's watching, if you've got any questions, I would like you to ask. We've got a 5 minute period before I switch over to Alan. He gonna take over the whole show. Yeah, it made me feel like I need to sit here and get interviewed. Yeah, so play. So if there are any questions, please let us know now. If not, I will ask 1 or 2 questions just to get them out. So we'll give you guys a couple minutes. No questions yet. I mean, there was some nice stuff said earlier. 1 second. Sort of ad hoc licensing. Okay, yeah, that's Dragonfly. Dragonfly was talking about being ad hoc and said in Guyana we operate under permissions, not a license. Okay, yeah, that's the aviation. The aviation will give you that opportunity because they will create permissions. The UK creates permissions. The license doesn't really exist realistically. Dragonfly was talking about regulations as well. Big Ben Productions asks where you guys are based. So I'm based in the UK, Big Ben, and Alan he said Trinidad. Any exact location in Trinidad? Yeah, in the
Uh,
general region.
South Trinidad.
South Trinidad, okay, and I'm in North London. Yeah, where it's not South London. Yeah, it's just all the South men there. It's not okay. It's not as happy. Okay. All right, so we got it. So many. Thank you very much, everyone who has joined and got about their business because some of them are with 8 people on. Thank you very much. Don't look like there's any questions though. Man, I don't look like no questions. So I think I'll give you one last question before we switch over.
Yeah, no worries.
Same for me. Your best drone shot.
My best drone shot.
Yeah, best one.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, one comes to mind. So I was so before I got into oil and gas work, I started in creative, videography stuff. And I was working on a project for Digicel. This would have been 2022, I believe.
Okay.
I think it was 22. Um, and we were on the top of a high-rise car park. And the shot was to go out over the city, turn around, and then you have to come back through the car park, up one of the levels, and then turn and then capture the band. But the space that you had to come through the car park at the lower level was about 4 feet, 3, 4 feet, which is big.
Yeah.
But if you look at it from an FPV drone coming in, it looks like this.
You can get that 1 point. Oh my goodness. Wow. No crashes then.
No, because if you hit concrete and then you fall.
Okay, so you survived.
So, yeah.
That's like a survival. That's how I managed to just get through. But that would have looked like a brilliant shot, though. I can imagine.
Yeah, that shot is online actually. I believe it's called the Digicel No Place Like Home concert series.
Oh well, yeah. Could you hear that, people? Anyone go Digicel? Go check the thing. Yeah, that you Digicel on my flow, guy. Well, I haven't been Jay since 18, so I don't even know if I got my sim because I don't know if they're doing eSIMs or anything like that now. All right, cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, Sims.
yeah, but I need to go back home. Trust me. All right, so what we're gonna do now is boom. Yeah, we're gonna hit a little earlier, a minute earlier. I'm on your podcast now. Wow, thank you. I'm sorry. Take it away, Dan. Take it away.
So actually, what I want to know from the UK perspective, what made you start this podcast?
So as I said earlier, it was a situation where I realized representation and a communication point didn't exist.
Right.
It was a situation where I would see some individuals who've been in their area of drone industry, didn't look like me, and they built their own area just to help promote their business. But it wasn't a communication about speaking to the people. It was more
Mhm.
what's the aviation industry doing, how are they developing, what are they doing for us, how are they building it out, and then they may talk to a couple people that, you know, in certain environments they can walk into aviation and, yeah, okay, we will do anything with you. So I realized that if there's no space for someone that looks like me to talk and express themselves and explain how the industry treated them,
Right.
then it needs to be made. So I made this. I made another one called Drone Plus. I still need to do a lot of, you know, Spotify stuff and all that type of stuff so I can get it a little wider.
Right.
And, you know, business is business. So yeah, that's the reason why I started. So it allows me to control the narrative and also bring people what I feel need to get that shine, regardless of the
Mm.
situation.
But how is it received by what you would perceive as your target audience?
Originally it was black drone pilots because in every single, well, in the UK it's like 0.003%. It's barely any of us. That's gone to a fully qualified level. And also for the new pilots that may not look like me, that run into this game and they ain't got no structure, no guidance, no understanding, because the problem is doing something because you see it online is great, but then understanding that there are things you need to do to ensure that someone can't call up the company and say, oh, the work you've done there, sorry, that's not commercially legal, you're going to need to take it down or I'm going to sue you. And I needed to, for me it was like, there needs to be a top. So you've got the best Premier League football players. You've got the best Premier League teams. You've got best NFL. Sometimes you have the best musicians, you know, best
Mm.
institutions. If there ain't people at the top to show the people who are interested in getting into it that there is a top, then you're just gonna have a free for all. So I said, no, I'll make sure I do everything legal, everything I get by the book, so that I can't hear anybody saying, oh no, I couldn't do it that way. I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
You you're showing people that it is possible to do it the right way and get it done.
Yeah. I think that's the
Yeah.
only way you can move forward these days. Like, I get it, yeah, but doing something unconventional when you have all of the protection in place is
Mhm.
different than doing something unconventional when you don't have none of the public liability or protection. It's just like, okay, you're going to be infectious. Your idea will be copied and you can't control it. Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
reason why I even went down that route. Even with this as well, branding, trademarking, all of that. So it's, yeah,
Mhm.
make sure you own your ownership.
Hmm. That's interesting, huh? Where do you see the UK drone industry in the next couple of years? Because, like I said, we see the Americans. Everybody knows the Chinese.
Mm,
I know about the Swiss,
mm,
but the UK in particular, well, the UK specifically is not one of the top names that you hear in terms of countries that drone technology is big in. It's kind of perceived more as a consumer than a developer or producer.
mm.
Where
Um,
where does that go for you guys?
so recently the CA increased the prices of permissions. Yeah,
Hmm.
so at one point it was like if you're looking at money for like £250 to get yourself your OA, and that's to get the OA. All of the training is a different price, but that's to just keep yourself
Right,
annually updated with whatever comes along.
right.
They increased that price to £500. That's just for a single individual. So me, I'm having to pay the extra. But they did that because they're trying to streamline a service-based system that allows them now to control every aspect of the drone industry digitally. Yeah, there's a nationwide thing they've decided to do. Because what will happen is we can do live shows here, but there
Mhm.
isn't a way of monetizing it. So the CAA wants to
Okay.
monetize as much as possible. And by doing that, they were also opening aspect to larger corporate companies. So we've had Amazon over here try to do deliveries. The only issue is London is a melting pot of so many different restrictive areas. Yeah,
Mhm.
we've got so many. Yeah, there's FRZs everywhere. Yeah, and temporaries can pop up any day. Yeah,
Right.
they can pop up any day. So because of that, and there isn't really that much understanding in regards to, like, even if we're doing deliveries, NHS, they own both areas of land. If they want to go from one building to another building, they own both. Yeah. But when you're going into public airspace, it changes. London City Airport's right in the middle of most of the place. We've got like 21 nautical mild based flight restriction zones, yeah, in the space of London. Like, we talk about
Yeah.
outside. So because London is generally the hub of the UK currently, it's got 18 million people in there, almost 18 million people. It's become very difficult, very stagnant, very slow. Because you need to get all these people to agree that this is the way forward. And as the UK doesn't have a very good system in regards to integrating new things so that everyone is a part of it, it slowed everything down. I think by maybe 2033, maybe 2035, we'll probably see some advancements in drone deliveries, potentially. Yeah, we're going to have to get over the financial hurdle first. Also, the one thing that you've probably noticed as well in the US is if a pilot is their own entity, yeah,
All right.
they generally don't want to work for anyone. Why would that?
Uh-huh.
Makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm my own entity. You know, I have my own business. You need to give me the contract and I'll do the work. Yeah, a lot of companies are trying to hire pilots with unrealistic funding. So I think I saw a job the other day for like 65K. I'm like, what's that going to do for me? Yeah, you know, I need to have a spotter, an observer, maybe a secondary pilot, maybe a technician. That's already 5 people I got employed. Plus your trainees. That's 5 people. You're gonna tell me 60 grand is gonna do that? No, it's not. It's not even gonna help. Bro. That's not gonna do. Maybe a 1.2 million in a government contract will allow you to maybe employ 5 of those people. Yeah, just under maybe 250,000. Because now you're looking at that. So I don't think they realize that when you are hiring a drone company, you need, and you want it done properly. You want it properly, you want paperwork, you want your audits, you want all, you're going to need to be putting in at least 500K minimum. Yeah. Because they want now, if they've got day jobs, that needs to be a thing of the past. Yeah. They need to be able to now do this as a job.
Yeah. This needs to be what you do.
It needs to be what you do. So I think a lot of the companies at the moment, they're like throwing out 60, 70. And I'm like, until they start going, okay, that's 500K. We're employing your services to that period of time. You're taking care of all of the aviation stuff. We're not doing it. Yeah, we're just giving you the money at this point.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be very slow. Very, very slow. I mean, I know a lot of pilots here who are doing their own thing. The majority, they have their own companies. A lot of them are freelance. And they like controlling their aspect. The police, though, the police may help push the industry into security based. If you're gonna look at anything really, I think the police have kind of understood a little bit that the drone industry itself, in regards to security, is a very good aspect in the UK. Yeah, because even Nottingham Carnival, they put up a temporary flight restriction for the 2 days so that they were able to see everything in 1.2 nautical miles. And they're like, all right, well, now I can police any drones going up in the air immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
They know the location, they know the remote ID, they know the serial number, and you know they're working with DJI, and because DJI has to work with every single aviation government, so that find your quick time. So I think, yeah, realistically, I think maybe security will improve in the UK. Yeah, because we're a service-based country anyway. We don't make anything.
Well, actually, that was going to be my next question. What about, like, is there government support for persons wanting to create their own drones where you manufacture them in the UK and export them worldwide? Is there an industry for that?
Realistically, I think it'll be too expensive at the moment.
Okay.
Realistically, I don't think they will be able to afford the manufacturing costs. I mean, at one point we tried to build batteries. That went up. Yeah, we haven't got it like at the moment. I mean, one thing we haven't got is space in the UK. Space that people want to use. Yeah. So Amazon might put up a nice little building somewhere in the middle of between, and this is, I don't Trinidad wise. Let's say the center of Trinidad to maybe the coast. In the middle, they've put an Amazon giant distribution network. Yeah.
All right.
That is what they would do. But that's not the UK. That is the corporate company from another place putting that there. And they're saying yes.
Yeah.
In regards to the UK, until they sort out a couple of things, I don't see anything but maybe service-based pilots and service-based companies coming in, maybe, and that's their money doing stuff.
Mhm.
Production, no, I still think we're going to be important generally, because even that we haven't got like a whole fleet of 3D printers as well. That's another thing. Yeah, I think the UK is kind of stuck sometimes in
Yeah.
innovation, a little bit like some areas of the Caribbean. It just we don't want to go any further. We want to stay where we are. So realistically, no, I think security is what we'll probably get into. Yeah, from what I've seen.
And then you see, you could end up in a position 5 years down the line that the Americans are in right now. Whereas you look up and, well, you probably would already be in that position. You look up, China owns everything.
Mm.
And now we concern about our security when it comes to drones. And now what do we do? Because they're already so deeply ingrained and we have none of our own. It's expensive to import from the States. What do we do?
I mean, that is maybe the biggest question of a lot of companies right now, especially businesses, because if you're not making it yourself, there's always a back door someone's
Yep.
created, especially if you're buying it for someone else as a back door. I
Yeah.
mean, I think a lot of people don't take enough time to do theoretical knowledge and learning. I think a lot of people rush. Yeah, and I'm seeing that in the drone industry at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of people just pick up and fly, and I'm like, it's not beneficial for you. It's not beneficial for the development, especially if you want to take this into a
Yeah.
business. And obviously, you get a lot of companies that will buy something from, for example, China, rebrand it
Mm.
completely, and then try to sell it on as if they did it themselves. That is also damaging the industry a lot. One thing I will always be very happy about in regards to the way DJI are doing things is they hold their brand, yeah, and they control it,
Mm.
yeah. So by doing that, you know that you've got that brand recognition of support, of strength, of a device that's going to work, and other countries, until they start supporting the people inside their countries, you ain't going to get that. You ain't going to
Yeah,
get
and
that.
that's why we so beholden to them right now as an industry, because they
Yeah.
basically created a system where we locked in. And I mean, it works really well, but leaving it, especially at the price point that they offer things at,
Yeah.
leaving a DJI ecosystem is near impossible to do unless you don't have a choice.
This is it. I mean, I think I've seen so many other companies try to pop up. And I think the US is terrible because what's happened is they've had some people just send over the schematics for the DJI drones, not put DJI on it, and try to rebrand it as their own. I'm like, come
Yeah,
on. It's diabolical. It's terrible, realistically. But no, right now, I think there's two things that are probably going to happen that I see happening. The first thing is FPV is going to be it's going to fall into a proper level of commercialization. We're talking about. I mean, they've said, okay, you have a spot with your guide. I mean, we're talking about right. These are the next thing we are going to use for whatever we're using it for, and now complete recognition. That's the first one I feel, and I'm in it already. But drone sports, that's the next thing. Drone sports is definitely the next thing. I'm already in it. Yeah, I know a couple other people in it. I'm not gonna. I work with drone soccer.
all
Yeah,
right.
but I'm building something for the UK, and that's gonna be mine, and it will be given to where I live at the time, which is the UK. So when that starts happening, yeah, I think I remember the first time I saw a drone soccer arena. I drove like 3 hours away from my local area, and I went to go and have a look at the drone soccer representative of the UK. Spoke to him,
Mm.
and he put it up, and I looked at it, and I said, "Wow, this is going to change it. This is going to change the whole competition aspect of how things work because as pilots, we don't get to sit down and work together. We don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can't really compete against each other. Yeah. We're basically doing who did the best shot. Basically, your shot better than mine. My shot was better than yours. You know what I'm saying? And then even if you're doing FPV, it's like, okay, well, how fast can you fly here? That might be the only area of maybe racing, which I think
Yeah.
is the first kind of aspect of drone sports. But I think the drone soccer, it's gonna be the area where we're gonna have like some superstars coming off that.
Yeah. And then they have all the different subcategories on the drone soccer. So they have something called a crayson, which is
Yeah,
basically a
but
PV race, but you're inside its tube. And
yeah,
it looks really interesting. So it's like the next level of drone racing because I think one of the barriers to entry with FPV racing is, well, you crash and you break things often. So you have to know how to fix it, and then they're expensive to continuously have to keep a fleet and repair things. So having this added layer of protection now where you can afford to crash and recover and keep going, it's the next thing. It's coming.
the Koreans did well. I mean, the Koreans did well. I can always pop it up to the people that create things. I will always do that. Yeah, when I found out they made this, and I looked at it, and I bought some of the stuff myself, and I got my investors to buy some of the stuff, and we looked at it, and we're like, "Wow, this is gonna be mad." Yeah, the only thing I was saying is I'm not paying attention to franchise. When I come, I'll bring my team. You know what I'm saying? They'll have two. They'll have something you've never seen before, and they'll know your stuff. It's just we've always got to stay ahead of the team. I can't allow them to be out here. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't just completely control it. But no, I think the Crayson. I mean, I didn't necessarily like the name. I like the concept. I didn't like the name realistically. But no. But what it will do, literally, like in my opinion, immediately reduces the barrier to entry. Oh my god, so like 5 years old. I've trained 5-year-olds. I've trained 10-year-olds. I've trained 60, 30. I've had an opportunity to train so many people on my side. And you see how beneficial it is to just say, there it is. No, don't worry, won't crash. Try out.
Yeah.
And immediately how their mind just goes, this is something I need to do. I need to do that. It's like, wait, why didn't I do very well here? If it's done right, it could be no different than driving a car.
Yep.
Yeah, is what I'm saying. So realistically, I am looking forward to drone sports. Yeah, I'm looking forward to releasing my league and the whole association behind it. Looking forward to do those. I'm trying to do that at a business show. So yeah, I'm gonna do that at a business show. I'm waiting for all that confirmation when it comes in. The picture will go up on the gram, bro. Okay, go up on the gram. Like, come follow me, my people. You know what I'm saying? Your turn to do your thing. And anybody that's
Yep.
a team, yeah, just come through. Don't worry. UK's covered. Yeah, like we can discuss, be a part of the league. But no, I am looking. Those are the two things I think already changed at the moment in regards to our GPS life. Yeah, it's the beginning staple. You know what I'm saying it's what started the industry itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can't really. You can add subcategories now to it, but the first time you see an Aspire and you sit there, you look at this piece of equipment and you're like, yeah, it's gonna be very
Yeah.
difficult for you. You look at it like, yeah, nah, well, okay, cool, understand. I mean, I haven't had a chance to see a matrice yet. Yeah, like, oh, I did. No, I did. We have something called DroneX here. Same type of conference. For me, and I like to be as honest as possible, I think it's missing more of the drone pilot aspect. Really do think it's missing more of it because it's companies trying to hire pilots. And you know what these are like. They're just, okay, we're out here, we're a large company, but it's not, okay, drone pilots, come along. You are the future. We're here to make you feel like you're meant to be here and this event is for you. It is for, oh, yeah. And I think right now, if that's not done better, yeah, corporate companies are only going to get like the bottom, and they won't get the youngers. They will not get the youngers. They won't get them. Yeah, because right now, the way the industry is with kids and young people, they want to be entertained. They want to enjoy what they're doing. They don't want to do the mundane stuff. You know what I'm saying? The older individuals and myself and whatnot, we've understood that, yeah, like mortgage to pay, rent to pay. You know what I'm saying? These things are got to be done.
And then stuff pays the bills.
I've got to pay the bills. But, without the youth and their innovations and their risk ratio to be really low, like we're not going to push the industry. We're not going to push it. And we need them, yeah, to do that. I mean, I've already said, like, myself, maybe yourself, a couple other individuals, we've created a blueprint that didn't exist in this industry. Yeah. And all of these younger individuals now are following our blueprint from whatever they see. I mean, we're not sitting out there having big ass conferences saying, this is how I started. What can you do now with that information? Yeah. So for me, I really want more of that. I want more of that. I want more of an environment where pilots come and they understand this is for me. Yeah, you bring the drone, you get in for free. Like, but knowing that that's what it is, that's my access because I put so many hours into this thing and my experience is there. I mean, I've got to build it. Like, I'll be honest with you, like everything I've done, because everything, no money ain't from anyone else. It's always like day job and running and do whatever I need. Sometimes you just need to build it. When you build it, like, they'll come. Even with you built your podcast and your podcast is like, right, it's been built because, yeah, it needs to be here. It needs to be a staple. When everybody needs it, when something's going on, they want to hear one from one of these pilots. Now it's going to come from another perspective of another pilot. Yeah. And even when we get the hosts that are taking over for us and our podcasts and stuff like that, they need to have some experience. They can't be sitting in here not knowing the difference between crashing and just scaving a tree. It's like, when you get on the recording, you hit that tree and that's lying. Yeah, because they won't be able to keep authenticity around.
Yeah.
I think it's so important for the selling point and the marketing that isn't taking money on board. You know what I'm saying? Is literally like, oh, let me recommend that guy because, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, that is so powerful. Can someone tell me that? Yeah, recommendation from someone just to come, so powerful. And I think we need more of that. We need a lot more of that. Yeah. So corporate companies, yeah, look, come, give us your money. I'll take it. But understand that there's got to be a certain limit. And if you're going to want all of those big, amazing things, it's going to come with the security and investment of bringing us on board, knowing that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. We know what we're talking about. We've been here. We've done it. Yeah. And if there's something that we don't know, it's not because we don't know it. It's just because we walked in that particular section to see what we know and how we can apply it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about that.
All right, last one before I let you go. If you got to do it over, what would you do differently?
It's trying to go back into history.
Yeah, let me hear.
Back into history. You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would change anything. I know it's weird. Most people are like, yeah, I'm changing like that. The way that I've done it based on how my life was. I'm saying, like, I've been doing this for almost 9 years now. When I started out, I saw someone else do it and I said I could do it. But then I have a university degree, so I was like, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. It wasn't easy for me to get to uni. So, right. So like, when I looked at it from that standpoint, I said, okay, all this work needs to be done. I kept that system as I moved through the whole of this. Like, I overachieved. I got the highest qualification I could in the UK and I didn't know how to use it. But I did that because I realized, well, if it's not in kin to my university degree, then I'm not doing it right. So I would not change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. I believe that building and owning what you have, yeah, it may be difficult at first. Yeah, it is. But when you get down the line, you have so much control. I wouldn't change him. I wouldn't. So yeah, that's the answer question. I wouldn't change that.
Nice. All right, that was we have 5 minutes on our for questions.
I think we're hitting the 5 minutes. So yeah, anybody else that has just jumped on, he gonna ask for questions from you, so you can ask him. So please, it's an opportunity to communicate with two fantastic individuals. If you do have any questions, please just throw something out there. If not, like, you're gonna regret it, and it's gonna be your fault, ain't mine, because I was here. We gave you a time. We said 7:00. We said, calm down, say what you want. Yeah, but if you're too shy, then you miss your chance, man. You miss your chance. We do have a moderator on today, and thank you very much. Hazardous Productions, our moderator today. It's her first time. Hopefully, it's not her last time. She'll be with me. again, and hopefully we can kind of get a bit of shine under her. I mean, we have got 5 minutes and nobody's decided to talk because they look like they're all in awe. So that, great, wonderful. I have a question now. So, how many people now, have you connected with and networked with who are pilots like us? Because that's where the great question was about.
I lost count.
That's so good.
Yeah, I lost count.
That is
And
so
I think that one of the things that I would recommend to anybody that could do it would be to get to the conferences, because the opportunities to meet persons and just, because I never thought when I started the podcast, I would have like, I could just call up the co-founder of a drone company and be like, hey, I'm coming in to the country. And he's like, hey, cool, pass by, we're going to do this, this, and this. 2 years ago, I didn't think that was possible when I started this podcast. So the networking opportunities from getting out there once you can, I think it should be something that everybody should make it their business to do at least at some point.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, I definitely agree. I mean, I'm lucky because I deliberately forced myself to create the group that we're a part of. Because I said, well, if I can't get them all together in one place, then I'm gonna put them all in one place, and I'm gonna make you guys physically see that we are all here, all trying to do the same thing at different levels, and we can learn from each other. Those networks gave me Eno, gave me Imi, gave me you, gave me drone candidates, I got Ramtech over here in the UK, a ton of new UK talent coming up. Some doing some mysterious things, but they're still here, and I will support them. I will support them because I know what it was like to be flying and make a mistake, and then whatever the case is. But you'll find work still. It is so important to just know that is a community where I don't care if you're quiet. Like, I really don't. I just want you to be able to sit there and go, okay, that's the place for me if I want to go there. Like, literally, I just, all right. I'll stay in this group and be quiet, but I want to stay in this group and be quiet. Those types of things. So, yeah, I know I really do enjoy making sure we do network a lot more. And I think for me, I like going into environments that people haven't necessarily considered drone technology to be in. Like, I love doing it. I love it. Let's walk into this space. Let's walk into it. When I first did the conference and I said, I'm gonna be on stage, and it's funny because one of the guys in here, Kieran, Rotep Productions, we were sitting at DroneX, one of the women up there, they were talking, and I was like, I'm gonna be on stage, fam. I'm gonna be on stage. Because I need to be on stage. Why do I need to be on stage? Because I need to show all of us that we need to get on stage. We have businesses that we are running. They may not be profitable at the moment, and everyone doing this, I'm going to stop you right here. You don't have to be making money to create a great business. A business is systems, structure, network. Once you have those three things in place, the money will come. The money will come. So anyone who's doing that right now, don't see no money, don't want practice, network, market, be smart about it, and own everything. Own everything. So when you want to give away a little bit, you don't have to give away everything. You can just give away that tiny sliver because you own it. And it's yours, and that's a powerful thing. We don't want anyone not having that opportunity, not owning your Instagram name, not owning those things. It's very dangerous. Not owning your website. Like, all these things are very important. So the business side, I think, is the evolution of a drone pilot. It's a real evolution of the drone pilot. Communication space is as well. So we are coming to the end. It's a minute left. Plug yourself, sir. Please let everybody know what you're doing and who you is.
All right, Pilots of the Caribbean podcast. You can catch the video version on YouTube, audio version anywhere you get your audio podcasts. You can also check out the website, pilotsofthecaribbeanpod.com. We are making a push to get some additional information and stuff up on the website. So we have a blog up there. We are giving away a checklist if you sign up for the newsletter. The first edition of the checklist already went out. We had a pilot feature. and we have some other amazing content planned. So check us out, Pirates of the Caribbean podcast.
Listen to the man. Listen to the man. You should go and check out his things. Everyone should be going following. I don't care. You guys go follow. Yeah. You guys know who this is. It's Dem Drones. Yes, I'm wearing the Caribbean one because I made it. Yeah,
I
look.
get a red, white, and black one of those.
Don't worry, I'll sort you out, man. I see everyone getting jealous here about Barbados and Lucia. I'm like, look here, you'll get your stuff. Yeah, just give me a minute, all right? Rep the thing. But yeah, okay. Look, everyone, you know what this is. Thank you for coming on. Drone Life Podcast and Pirates of the Caribbean Podcast. First combined. This is not going to be the last one because we've got a lot of things to talk about, and you know, this two hosts, like, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's nice. I have to throw some guests on here. Like next week you can see 4, you know, us doing both people. But yeah, look, I really appreciate you coming down. I really appreciate you taking your time. Yeah.
Oh, no worries.
Thank you for the insight. You're very welcome. I appreciate you decided to be a little bit noisy. Yeah, 100% to you as well. Thank you. Yeah, all right. Well, that's the end of this, bro. Thank you very much for coming. And 17th, we've got someone else coming on the 17th as well. So make sure you go move over. All right. Look. See you later. Have a good evening.
Yeah, man. You too. Later.
We out.